Hi there, this is Jen Kitzmiller with the National Weather Service in Missoula, and I have your weather planning briefing from Sunday, August 23rd. So here's a few of the weather impacts that we're looking at for this week. A big one's going to be periods of smoke coming up from California, at least through the Wednesday time frame. There will be an increasing threat of thunderstorms, with the main period of concern that Tuesday into Wednesday time frame. Then as we get out towards Thursday and Friday, it does look like we'll lose some of that monsoonal moisture, so things will trend a little bit drier. And then there is potential for a pattern change coming up this weekend. So here's a look at the current satellite imagery. A couple things I'll draw your attention to. As I'm sure you know, there's a lot of wildfire activity going on through California, and a lot of that smoke is pushing its way right up into western Montana and north central Idaho. We're going to continue to be in a pattern that's favorable to bring some of that smoke up into the area at least through Wednesday due to the southwest flow aloft. So with that, for areas especially from roughly Missoula and southward, smoke is likely going to be around to stay for the next several days. The other thing to point out is all of this moisture that's evident through Nevada and Utah. That's monsoonal moisture that's kind of working its way around this Four Corners ridge of high pressure. So that moisture is going to be making its way up into the Northern Rockies here and should be starting to impact the area as early as Monday. So here's a look at the overall weather pattern. As I mentioned, we have a ridge of high pressure basically starting from the Four Corners area and extending up into Montana. The ridge axis itself in this Monday through Wednesday time frame is really going to be focused more over eastern Montana, so that leaves us here in north central Idaho and western Montana under southwest flow aloft. So again, that's opening us up to that smoke, but it's also going to be bringing up that monsoonal moisture I pointed out on satellite. So a few of the highlights for this Monday into Wednesday time frame: we're going to continue to be warm, slightly above normal temperatures, with many locations in the upper 80s and low 90s. With that increasing monsoonal moisture, there will be increasing clouds and also increasing threat of thunderstorms, potentially as early as Monday afternoon and evening, but Tuesday into Wednesday looks like the most likely time frame. With any storms that do develop, it looks like they're going to be a mix of wet and dry. They don't look completely dry. There should be some moisture with these, but they also will be moving fast enough where we're not expecting a lot of precipitation on the ground. Some of the threats with any storms that develop will be, of course, lightning and gusty outflow winds. And the one wild card I will throw out there is the areas that see a lot of thick smoke that could actually inhibit some of the convection from forming. So that'll be something we'll be looking at in the near term as we move forward. Okay, so here's a look at how thunderstorms may evolve in that Monday into Tuesday time frame. Now, I did mention some of that monsoonal moisture is going to make it up by Monday afternoon. It looks like the main focus of showers and thunderstorms will be generally from Missoula southward, so the Clear Nez, the Bitterroot, Beaverhead Deer Lodge. The Lolo National Forest is going to be on the fringe of some of this moisture, so it is possible to see a couple thunderstorms further north. But for the most part, it looks like most of the activity is going to be in those areas I just mentioned. Now, stability may be limited somewhat due to smoke, so we're thinking more isolated type thunderstorm activity for Monday afternoon and evening. Now, as we get into Monday night into Tuesday morning, there is a little bit more organized wave of energy coming through that's going to interact with that moisture in place. So there is potential to see some nocturnal thunderstorm activity really across the whole area going into Tuesday morning. As far as where individual thunderstorms are going to develop, that's kind of tough to say at this point, but something to keep in mind that we could have some thunderstorm activity going into Tuesday morning. So it's not necessarily just going to be limited to the afternoons. And then as we get into Tuesday, that's our time frame that we really have the most confidence of some showers and thunderstorms in the area. You'll see this particular model is producing quite a bit of thunderstorm activity from Missoula south and east, so primarily for the Beaverhead Deer Lodge as well as the East Lolo and the Bitterroot as well. So these storms could be a little bit more robust, have more wind associated with them, possibly more lightning. So that Tuesday afternoon time frame in particular is kind of a watch out time for us that we'll be keeping an eye on. Wednesday will likely continue to see some thunderstorm activity around as well in the similar areas as what I showed you for Tuesday. Now, as we get into the Thursday and Friday time frame, you'll see from our upper level pattern here that the flow aloft turns a little bit more westerly, so we'll lose a lot of that monsoonal moisture. Now, there will still be some potential for some thunderstorms, primarily across southwest Montana, but for the most part, it looks quite a bit drier. This period will continue to be warm. We'll still be running a few degrees above normal for temperatures, but we'll also have that drier air starting to work in, so maybe a little bit lower relative humidities. And also, I think in this time frame, we'll see less smoke over the area just due to that more westerly flow aloft. Now, I mentioned a potential for a pattern change. That looks possible sometime this weekend. There are some timing differences on when this might happen, whether it's Sunday or more towards Monday. But in any case, there is increasing confidence in this change occurring over this next weekend. I think we have the highest confidence in saying that it's going to be a pretty significant cool down across the area, going from above normal temperatures to below to possibly well below normal temperatures. We have less confidence in the precipitation amounts. I would say at this point, the better chances of seeing some decent precipitation would be up across northwest Montana along the Continental Divide. And as you head south and west, your chances of seeing precipitation out of this are maybe not quite as high. And then one thing I will highlight is as this change comes in, there likely will be a decent front that comes through as well. So there's a potential period to see some wind ahead of that cool down. But again, our confidence in the timing is not quite as high for that. So looking at the 6 to 10 day outlook, this really reflects what I just showed you with that pattern change. There is increasing probabilities of above normal precipitation. You'll see, again, like I mentioned, mainly favored closer to the Continental Divide with lesser chances as you move west. And the outlook for temperatures is below normal, similar to what I just showed you with that cooler pattern coming in. So in summary, here's a look at the weather threat matrix. We have a pretty colorful matrix here. Monday we've highlighted in yellow for potential for some wind and some thunderstorms, but really we've highlighted that Tuesday into Wednesday time frame to show when we have the most confidence and more widespread coverage of thunderstorm activity. So with that, I will wrap it up and we will plan to speak to you again through this briefing on Thursday. But in the meantime, feel free to give us a call at any time if you have any further questions or concerns. Thanks, and we will talk to you Thursday.